making plays.
Well, he's saying, we've got a bunch of guys here. We gave up a late goal, and we have to continue.
Good morning, I'm Mike Graham, he's Mike Parry. You're listening to Two Mics on the warm-up. It's a big one today. Manchester City take on Chelsea at the Etihad in what could be the Premier League title decider. I know it's a bit early in the season, but you never know. We'll be heading up there to stoke up the atmosphere and to get the team news, of course, as well. The Portmeister will be giving us the benefit of his vast rugby knowledge ahead of the England crunch game against Australia at Twickenham. Plus, we're talking Rafa, Bobcat, Barb, and, of course, Kelly Brook as well. 08717 22 3344. There might even be mention of a Christmas hamper as well. Coming up as well, it's the 1 Minute Moan. You're listening to this warm-up with me, Mike Graham, and Mike Parry on TalkSport. This is the warm-up. We are the Two Mics, and it's time to say a very, very good morning to Mr. Mike, a Porky, a Parry. Very good morning to you, Mr. Parry.
And a very good morning to you, Mike. And I have to say, lots of cram into the show today because there is so much.
It's a very short show.
It's a
well, for anything else.
It's a short show. Don't say that if you had a few drinks. And talking about a few drinks,
yes.
Right now.
Well, I haven't had a few drinks because it's only 11 o'clock in the morning.
Neither have I.
Well, hang on, you're posting pictures already on your Twitter feed from a pub. Well, before you got here.
This is why I want to make the position absolutely clear.
Yeah, okay.
Coming out of Waterloo Station this morning, which is one of the world's busiest stations, I'm aware of a lot of people who have both the England and the Australian colours on, disappearing down a set of stairs into something called a beer cellar.
A beer cellar?
A beer cellar.
Right. Was this an unfamiliar place to you?
Well, yes.
What, you've never been down there? You were surprised that the steps led to a beer cellar, is that what you're saying?
No, I kind of knew they did. I kind of knew they did, but nevertheless, I thought this is interesting because it's just before 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning. So,
you were in there for 2 hours.
What?
What, you were in there for 2 hours?
Are you mad? This was 1 minute to 9. I just got off the train.
Oh, I see. All right, sorry.
So anyway, I thought, I wonder what's going on here. So I followed these chaps down. Anyway, I can't.
I wonder what's going on here.
Within 3 or 4.
Some England fans and some Australian fans going to a rugby game, disappearing into a beer cellar. I wonder what could be going on.
Within 3 or 4 minutes, no joke. I mean, there were 5 and 6 pints lined up on tables.
Did you not have this conversation with me last week?
Yeah, but I can't believe that I saw it this morning in such graphic terms. Last time I saw it, I just mused on what might have happened. Today, I felt it necessary to go and take a picture and put it out to the world.
I see.
That this is the way that rugby fans can behave on a day of football. Now, I thought...
were they behaving badly?
No, not at all. And I thought,
what's the problem then?
I thought it must be an 11:30 kickoff, and then all of a sudden, I searched on my information machine. Found out it's a 2:30 kickoff, so that means I have 5 hours of drinking before the start of the game. The kickoff.
That's normal, isn't it?
It's huge amount of time to get onto the old grog.
When was the last time you went to a football match?
Last week.
Last weekend, right?
Yeah.
And what time was the kickoff?
Kickoff was on that particular occasion 4:30.
4:30.
Yes.
And so, what time did you have your first drink?
11:30.
That's 5 hours before the kickoff.
Oh, but then I got onto a train and journeyed for an hour before the second.
You didn't drink on the train?
Actually, funny if I did, actually. But I mean,
so you were drinking for 5 hours before the football kicked off?
No.
Well, it sounds like it.
Yes, but I was having lunch. These guys are just in a boozer.
Well, you don't know.
Whoosh. Anyway, look, I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it. What I'm saying is...
I don't know why you're so obsessed with it.
No, I'm actually praising them. I'm saying that when was the last time we heard of any sort of incident of misbehaviour by anybody at a rugby match in this country?
Well, it does happen from time to time in club games, funnily enough, because people are always posting pictures of that,
but this obviously is international,
Can I just pick you up on something as well?
Rugby stadium.
In your tweet that you put out, you headlined it in capital letters, Nota Boni.
Yes, right.
What is that?
That means be aware or note well. It's Latin. It's
Nota Bene.
That's right, yeah.
B-E-N-E.
It means please note.
It's not B-O-N-A-E. It's not Nota Boni.
Well, it depends which vernacular of Latin you're using.
Well, which vernacular of Latin are you using? Pig Latin?
No. I was using the post-Grecian vernacular of Latin.
I see.
No problem.
Okay.
Anyway, look.
Why don't we talk about Rafa Benitez?
Well, I think we should.
Yes.
I think we should because, you see, I don't know whether it's all fallen apart for,
It was a very odd game, wasn't it? Very strange result last night.
A very odd game, very strange result. And, those people, when Rafa was the manager of Liverpool, and people used to call him the fat Spanish
Yes,
waiter,
yes.
something I always objected to.
You always do object to that,
always, you know, if I was in the crowd there at the Everton-Liverpool game, somebody behind me said, "Hey, you fat Spanish waiter," I always turned round and berated the guy and said, "Please, that's
not fair.
impolite.
Yeah.
Don't do it."
Absolutely not.
But he somehow acquired the title of fat Spanish waiter, much to my chagrin.
Except that you haven't really ever forgiven him, have you, for insulting Everton as a club?
He once said when smaller clubs come to Anfield, well, perhaps he didn't know too much about this country at the time. However, what an incredible game last night. Not only did Newcastle end up with just 9 men, they got 2 penalties, Nottingham Forest had 2 penalties which they missed, right? Yeah. Which is quite nice, right, isn't it? Yeah. At the same time, Newcastle managed to go ahead when they were down to 10 men. Yeah. It was a real topsy-turvy game.
It really was,
But at the end...
But they're still top of the league, though.
Well...
So maybe just a minor setback, right?
Well, I think they said last weekend when they lost at home to Blackburn, that was a minor setback.
Yeah.
I think they said during the week when they went out of the League Cup to Hull, that was a minor setback.
Yes.
Now...
It's not been a great week.
It's a hat-trick. It's a hat-trick of defeats.
You'd still back them to come up, though, wouldn't you?
Oh, of course you would, yes, absolutely. But what I'm saying is...
What do you think would happen if, for some bizarre reason, by some alchemy, they didn't come back up? Do you think Rafa would scarper?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
He's only doing this because he wants to add it to his CV.
Well, not just that. He expects to come back up again, and then he's back in the Premier League, so then everybody's happy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say also, because Rafa has a reputation as being a shrewdie, he will have written some clause into his contract saying, yeah, OK, I'll get you back into the Premier League where there's £100 million on offer next season. I'll have a couple of those. Thank you very much indeed. I would imagine.
Yes, I would imagine too. Now, the other big game, of course, Manchester City versus Chelsea.
Sorry. Although you say they're still top of the league, if Brighton win their game in hand, because Newcastle have now played 19, Brighton will leap over them at the top.
But when I said they're still top of the league, that was essentially a correct statement.
It is for the next few hours, but Brighton today
they're still top of the league, that's it.
Brighton are playing away at Cardiff. Oh, hello, boyo.
Why are you saying it in a funny accent?
Because it's Welsh and I like to recognise with the local people. And so if Brighton win at Cardiff today...
Didn't you get accosted when you were in Cardiff last time?
In Cardiff last time?
Do you remember when you left we were playing a show at the Tram Shed?
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yes.
And you weren't feeling very well. You were quite below par.
Yes, that's right, I was.
And you were kind of confused. And you decided to walk back to the hotel.
I did.
And you went the wrong way.
No, I went the right way, but some bloke leapt out of her. Oh, Porky, you know. No,
was it Alan Brazil? What was Alan Brazil doing down there?
He said, no, honest guy, he said, oh, hello, Porky. I've just been to your show. Wonderful, boy, wonderful. Where are you going now? I said, well, I'm going back to our hotel, the Hilton, was it?
No, it was the Holiday Inn.
The Holiday Inn, yeah. He said, oh, you're on the wrong road. I said, what? No, I'm sure it's this way. I said, I'm walking back the route that the taxi brought us. Yeah. No. Go back there, turn left there. That will take you home. And he sent me the wrong way. He sent me on a bridge across the river.
Yeah, so you're not like wandering around the Millennium Stadium or something for about half the night.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, so there we are. But anyway, so I want to talk to you about Manchester City-Chelsea.
Yes.
Which is a big game. We're going to be going up there shortly to talk to Dave Rowe. He's going to give some team news. What is your prediction, please?
What?
What do you mean, what?
Sorry, you're talking to me?
Yeah, because I'm talking to you.
I thought you were talking to somebody called Dave.
No, I said we're going up to talk to Dave Rowe.
Okay.
In a minute,
right,
to get some team news. Yeah. And I said, what is your prediction, please? You know, normally I am talking to you, since we do a radio show together.
Right.
For the next, whenever you hear this voice, right, that's me, asking a question, normally speaking, you're supposed to answer it.
I'm going to give you my prediction for the game.
And at 1 o'clock, you can stop answering questions by me, because you won't be with me anymore.
I'm going to give you my prediction for the game.
Can I have it, please?
Manchester City 2.
Yes.
Chelsea 3.
Now, isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting?
Why is that interesting?
I'll tell you why it's interesting, because we were talking outside, excuse me, and I said, I think there's going to be a lot of goals in this game.
Did you?
And you said, no, I don't think so.
No, I know.
And now you're predicting 5 goals.
No, I didn't hear you say anything outside. I have my own thoughts on this game.
Really?
I think that's the way it'll go. I think it'll be a cracker. And
I think there will be a lot of goals.
Yeah,
I'm actually sort of verging towards a 2-2 draw.
You see, a fence sitter.
You say this to me all the time. Yes. Predicting that a score will end in a draw is not sitting on the fence. Yeah. That means you're predicting the score that you think it will end up being. Yeah. It's got nothing to do with sitting on the fence.
Yeah, you say that. But,
Are you going to be like this for 2 hours?
No, not at all.
I may have to throttle you.
I think not.
Now, coming up, we're going to be talking about the great Christmas hamper that I've got in the back of my car, which you think I'm going to give to you, but in fact I'm going to keep for myself.
No, you're not.
This is Talk Sport. This is Talk Sport. We are the two mics on the warm-up. We're getting very, very close to the kick-off of the first game of the weekend. Manchester City against Chelsea, of course, up at the Etihad.
Yes.
We'll be going up there shortly to talk to Dave Rowe.
We certainly will.
I'm not asking him a question right now. We have a couple of announcements to make, though, first of all. Do we not?
We certainly do indeed.
Yeah.
Now, I want to say a very, very happy birthday to Rich, who is one of our followers.
Yeah.
He's been to a number of shows. He's a great guy who lives up in the northwest of England. I'm told he's out on his bike today.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's a very...
What a way to celebrate your birthday.
Well, no, he's a very keen cyclist, and he lives on the border of the Lake District, to go cycling around there. Anyway, 50 today. He follows us all over the place with his adorable girlfriend, Christine, who is Mrs. Sexy as far as I'm concerned, because she always brings the house down with her stunning outfits when she comes to our shows.
Yeah.
So,
Steady.
Christine, great to have heard from you, and a very happy birthday to Rich.
Yes, in fact, she sent a message earlier in which I might just read a little bit from.
Yes.
She says, we're in for some serious bladderation tonight, combined with lots of the other oft-used phrases on your show.
Excellent.
We don't want to get in too much into that. Now, the only other one is similarly for Louise and Kevin. Kevin asked us to wish her a happy birthday. She's 37 today. Normally don't give women's ages away, but he gave it away, so he might be now in huge trouble.
Yep.
But a very happy birthday to Louise as well.
Louise, a very, very happy birthday, my dear. And again, you are an extremely valued listener and follower, and we'll see you at another show soon.
Right. Now, I've got a Hobson's choice for you, if you
Go
like,
on, then.
before we go any further.
Okay.
Because it's that time of year when we get those calendars in.
Oh, right.
You know, those lovely calendars that you can put up. And I know you're a man that likes to keep things, sort of in order.
I do.
So that you know what you're doing from day to day.
I've got an Everton calendar for the last, I think, 17 years.
17 years?
Yeah.
Why don't you have one for this year?
Do you know what?
Why do you want one for the last 17 years? They've already been and gone.
No, each year. And then I keep them because the pictures of them are so good.
Why do you keep them?
I keep them because I like them.
Where do you keep... I mean, your house must be like something out of, some Dickensian kind of old hovel.
Many years ago...
How many piles and boxes of nonsense have you got?
Many years ago, when I was a king in Fleet Street...
A king?
Yeah.
You were never a king in Fleet Street.
A pal of mine ran
you weren't even a prince.
A pal of mine ran a calendar company called Danilo.
More like a jester.
And he used to send me calendars.
And you just ignore me the whole show.
Well, because you're talking gibberish, that's why.
Unlike you.
If you talk sense, I will pay you some accord.
So when you start a sentence with, when I was a king in Fleet Street, that's not gibberish.
Well, hang on. Now, listen, my mate at Danilo used to send these, and what we used to do is we used to publish them first. So, for instance...
Funnily enough, that's exactly where they're from.
Oh really? Well,
these are Danilo calendars.
He's very good at what he does, Mr. Danilo, although that's not his name, but I can't reveal his real name.
Why not?
Well,
give everybody else, you don't know it.
But anyway, the funny story is...
Mr. Danilo.
Often...
Is it not Dan... Illo.
No, it's not. No, it's not Danny Low.
Look at Daddy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Hurry up, please. It's only 2 hour shows.
Hang on. Often these calendars are of extremely attractive-looking ladies.
Is that right?
In their new sort of, swimwear, beachwear, or something like that. And we used to publish them all over the place, and it was great. So, but anyway, they do football calendars, and I expect.
So what's the point of this story?
I expect he's forwarded me an Everton calendar.
Well, he hasn't forwarded you anything. What he's done is he has sent in some calendars for our perusal. Okay.
Excellent. Where's
I've selected 2 calendars for you.
Oh, right, okay.
But you can only have one.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Right.
And you have to choose between one or the other.
Well, there's no choice. If it's an Everton calendar, then it's Everton.
Are you sure?
Certain.
So you want an Everton calendar?
Yes, please.
Are you sure that you would not prefer a Kelly Brook calendar? Look at his face.
Well,
considering what did you say the other week? That if you had enough money to do anything that you wanted to do, you basically would want to be with Kelly Brook.
I didn't.
That's more or less what you said.
I didn't. What I said was...
I mean, look at that.
It's just to phone in your listener. Mr. Graham is now showing me the cover of the Kelly Brook calendar. She is an extremely attractive lady.
You don't have to be the rear view as well.
Yeah. Excuse me. This is a family show.
I know
Don't start talking about rear views.
It's the back of the calendar.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get that straight. No, it's going to be the Everton calendar for me.
You sure?
Absolutely.
You're absolutely sure.
Absolutely.
Right,
absolutely. What do you think I am? Some sort of weirdo who keeps Kelly Brook calendars on the wall.
Would you please name the 4 top Everton players that are on the front of the calendar?
The 4 players are Delafeu.
Yeah. Delafeu.
Ross Barkley.
Yeah.
Ashley Williams.
Yeah.
And that's...
you can't recognise your favourite player?
Of course I can.
You've forgotten his name?
Of course I can. No, I haven't forgotten his name.
Lou.
Excuse me. I was about to go into Lukaku.
Right.
Okay?
Would you say they're the 4 top players? Because I would take Ross Barkley off that if I was an Everton fan.
I would say every Everton player, as far as I'm concerned, is a top player. So
I wouldn't
great.
have Ross Barkley as one of the top 4.
Well, calendar was made, of course, a few months ago. And you've got to... I love the old expression about class is permanent, form is temporary.
Yeah.
Okay? That's all I would say.
Okay.
Now, listen...
Well, here's your calendar.
Thank you very much.
I'll give the Kelly Brook one to somebody else.
Yeah, please do, because, you'll find me in the habit of having pictures of exotic ladies
Maybe
in
I'll give it
bikinis
to
on
my
the wall
son
of my
who's
home.
come in to work with us today.
Well, that's
I'm sure his mother would be keen on it.
Okay. Can we tell people what his name is or not?
No.
No? Okay.
No, stop
Right.
giving everybody's name away.
Can I just say this, just on that one, by the way? Some genius at Prague Charles University.
Prague Charles?
Yeah, well, Prague, which is in the Czech Republic.
Yes.
There's a university there called Charles University. It's called
Really?
the Charles University of Prague.
Charles?
Okay. Yeah, and I'm not joking. This guy, his name is Dr. Jan Havlicek, okay?
Right.
My name is Jan Havlicek.
What does he do when he's in a restaurant?
Well, I don't know.
Havlicek.
No, Havlicek for Havlicek. Oh, I have Havlicek. Okay. No, anyway, this guy's a genius because he's done this survey for 2 years, and you know what the conclusion is?
What is it?
Men prefer women with big breasts to those who do not have big breasts. A scientific study
Really?
shows.
Well, I suppose he had some fun doing the study.
But what a sexist survey to carry out. Why would you do that?
Yeah, why have you publicised it then?
Because it's been published in a newspaper this morning. But what I'd say is, in my eyes, every woman is beautiful. Every woman, okay?
Really?
Irrelevant.
That's not what you said the other day.
Excuse me. Don't you start accusing me
That is
of
not
things.
what you said the other day.
Irrelevant of her bodily form, irrelevant of, whether her facial looks are plus 10 or minus 10 or whatever. In my mind, every woman is beautiful.
Do you know when you meet people who are one-dimensional?
One-dimensional?
Yeah.
Well, have you met some?
Yeah, I've got one on Twitter here. His Twitter handle is Our World Below.
Oh, well,
right, so I'm not quite sure what that means, but he says this. Any idea when the arguing middle-aged guys will be done so we can actually have some sport?
Oh, that's a bit harsh, isn't it?
Now, I mean, talk about one-dimensional.
Yeah, that's
Is that when you talk about Our World Below? He only talks about sport.
Yeah, that's right.
You're like the guy you meet on a train.
Yes,
Hello,
right.
how are you?
Should we talk some sport?
Should we have some statistics from the Manchester City-Chelsea game?
Actually, funny you should say that, but the thing I was going to raise with you, actually...
I've got some great stats here that were provided for me by my new research assistant.
It's excellent.
About when Manchester City and Chelsea last had a result which was in Chelsea's favour, which is all the way back in February of 2014.
Well, there you go.
In the Premier League.
There you go. Now we know. It's good.
Well, that's a long time ago.
It's a long time
I know
ago.
you don't think that it's important, but I do.
I don't think 2 years is a
Chelsea
long
have
time
not
ago in
been
football terms.
Well, Chelsea have not been Manchester City for the last, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Premier League games.
That is not
So
long.
5
That's
Premier
not
League...
long in football terms.
Well, if you were a Chelsea fan, you would be pretty upset about the fact that your team have not beaten Manchester City in the last 4 meetings in the Premier League.
Well, I just still don't think it's long in footballing terms. You can go back 30 years when clubs say, our team's never won at that ground for 30 years.
That's not relevant. This is under the new management at Chelsea, under the new management of Manchester City. With all the money, with all the money that's coming in from the people in the Middle East, with all the money coming in from Russia, Manchester City have got the upper hand.
Well, you say that. Now, listen, I will take that on board.
You've seen the time, by the way.
Yeah, just before the time, there's one thing that I really liked, which I picked up on this morning. Now, Jamie Carragher, who at one time in his career I regarded as a bit of a sort of a basic man.
Who?
Okay, Jamie Carragher.
Right. What do you mean a basic man?
Well, because he looked like a big...
Are you trying to get him to call in or something?
No, not at all. He looked like a big sort of hard man type, defender for Liverpool and didn't say a lot in those days. He now does...
The strong, silent type, is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, sort of thing. He now does, and I have to say, he writes a weekly newspaper column, and his column this morning, I think, is riveting and very revelatory.
And spot on.
Yeah, he's worked out, because he was a great defender, obviously played for England and Liverpool, he's worked out that Lukaku actually is either not putting in enough hard work or not applying himself to his task properly, because he points out that defenders, to get an advantage sometimes, have to know how to time their run, when to time their run, and Gary Lineker...
Attackers, you mean?
Eh?
You mean attackers?
Attackers,
you said
strikers.
defenders.
I'm sorry, I meant strikers, yeah. And I remember Gary Lineker once saying the nightmare of a striker is always, did you time your run properly? Did you go at the right time?
But it's like the arcing of the run as well, isn't it?
It is.
So that you don't get offside and all of that. But you don't see Lukaku doing that, and I think Lukaku is not quick enough.
Yeah,
that's really why.
Well, funny enough, this is what Jamie Carragher says in his piece.
Well, can you just hold that thought though, because we are running out of time. Seriously, but just hold on to it.
I know, but it's an excellent table. I'm going to tell you about in a minute.
Well, that's great. Very, very kind. We will all hold our breath for it. But thank you very much indeed. I can sum it up in one sentence, which is Lukaku's not quick enough. This is TalkSport. We are the two mics. It is the warm-up, of course. Coming up very, very shortly, we're going to be hearing the... what on earth was that noise?
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
What's the matter with you?
I've got a bit of hay fever this morning.
Hay fever?
Yeah.
It's December.
No, you can get winter hay fever.
You don't get winter hay fever.
You can.
That's absolute rubbish.
You can, because people close...
You better not have another one of those horrible colds
No. People
time.
close the doors and turn the heating up and all that, and it's not good for the human body. I always open windows when it's cold, get a bit of freezing air in.
Really?
It's good for you.
Well, it's not freezing at the moment, though.
No,
it's like 9 degrees.
Yeah, right.
You said it was going to be -9 the other day.
It's going to be later in the week.
Oh, right.
Later in
the week, Saturday.
Earlier in next week.
It's Saturday.
Earlier in
it's
next
the
week.
end of the week.
Earlier next week.
Michael says this: Porky has had Everton calendars for the last 17 years to keep count of how long it was since they last won a trophy.
Well, sadly, it doesn't go back that far, I'm afraid, but there we are.
Here's one from Simon, who says Porky's locked room is full of Kelly Brook calendars, which is probably untrue.
It's not.
And Julia says, forget Kelly Brook, Porky, you're going to get the FMP calendar, which is a load of pictures of Julia with you at various venues.
Well, that's very kind of you, but in fact, we did close down the FMP list a couple of years ago.
Really?
That was the first
Is it
Mrs.
now
Parry.
defunct?
It is a bit defunct,
I
really.
thought it had been resurrected lately.
No, not really, no. Life has moved on. There are new ambitions to fulfil, new mountains to conquer.
That's not a very nice way to refer to Sarah.
Come on.
Anyway, listen, let's talk about Bobcat Bob.
Indeed.
Because after his magnificent win, which I predicted, by the way, last weekend against Crystal Palace.
Mind you didn't have to be a genius to predict that, did you?
What, not to predict that they would win a game by 5-4?
Well, hang on. Palace are in the worst form of any Premier League club in this calendar year.
Did you predict that Swansea were going to win? No, you didn't.
I don't think I even referred to it.
No, you didn't.
But I somnolently knew that they would.
You what?
Somnolently knew that they would. Somnolently, I knew they would.
Somnolently?
Yeah, that's right.
That's
not
the right
exactly,
word.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're playing Spurs, right? Harry Kane's just signed a new contract.
Yeah.
Let's have a listen to what Bobcat Bob is doing to prepare for the game.
Yes.
I've said many times that when a team goes through a rough stretch, you need some results. You need some things to turn the tide a little bit. And Saturday provided a really good moment for us. And the players were excited. There was real pride in the dressing room after the game, where at that moment the details didn't matter, the outcome mattered.
A rough stretch.
When a team goes through a rough stretch, you got to turn the tide. Turn the tide, because
He's brilliant, isn't he?
Its results that matter.
And the players were real excited.
Real excited, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But what is a rough stretch? It sounds like you're talking about prison.
It does, honestly.
But I must
say,
say, like I've always said, that Bobcat Bob's a brilliant addition to the Premier League. I hope he stays in it. I hope he hangs on to his job. And I don't think he's going to do terribly well today. I think if Swansea don't get beaten by quite a large margin, that will be a big surprise. But you want him to stay in the league because he's brilliant. He's fantastically entertaining.
I think you're being a bit unkind because you're saying that you want him here as a fun factor. And in fact, he is a serious coach. It's just that because he speaks differently...
you're a serious journalist.
It's because he speaks differently to us. But I mean, you're absolutely
right. It's not
right.
about the fact that he speaks. Listen, people have said in the past, you wouldn't make fun of him if he had a different accent. One that you didn't make fun of. And I'm like, well, that's not true.
What about Vera?
But the point is it's the way that he speaks. It's not the fact that he's American. It's not the fact that he's foreign. It's the things that he comes out with which make him funny.
Absolutely.
Like, he's talking about a good stretch. I mean, nobody talks about that.
He's talking about a rough stretch.
A rough stretch, sorry.
And that's an Americanism, which we all know about. But the problem is, when you combine rough stretch, turn the tide, got to get results. When you combine that
make some plays.
Make some plays and get under the radar. I got a lot of people on my radar. Push the envelope. Give me respect. Then you put it all together.
It's brilliant.
And unfortunately, he becomes a bit of a sort of... He becomes a character.
He does. Well, he's a character.
Well,
I mean, I'm all for people that make me laugh. Bobcat Bob makes me laugh, and I wish him all the best.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk a bit more about Lukaku, because we didn't get around to that.
Well, you see, I'm praising Jamie Carragher here, because obviously Jamie Carragher was a terrific defender. And what he's pointed out, and I have heard Gary Lineker talk about this before, is when a great striker times his runs, it's vital and crucial to how he does it and gets around defenders. So what Jamie Carragher is saying is he's looked at the stats. Lukaku, for instance, miles per run in a game of 90 minutes, 5.4 miles.
Right.
He compares that with Firmino, 7.1 miles.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah.
That's nearly 2 miles more. Costa
is that a fair comparison? I suppose it is, isn't it?
Well, of course it is. They play the same sort of role.
Yeah. But they're not the same kind of players, though, are they?
Not the same sort of players, but at the end of the day, their job is to score goals.
Sure.
So they can interpret the method by which they do it. And Lukaku's not that far down the chart. He's got 7 compared to Costa's 10. Costa runs 6.2 miles. Sanchez 5.9. Aguero 6.1. But what I really...
Sanchez 5.9.
Yes.
I'm surprised at that, because that's not much more than Lukaku.
No,
And you'd see Sanchez as a more kind of busy player.
Yes, you would actually. Yeah. Well, it's half a point, so to speak, 5.4 to 5.9. But the most interesting fact that Jamie Carragher points out here is sprints per 90 minutes. Right, Lukaku 40.4. Now that compares with Firmino's 79.9. That's double.
What you mean? He sprints for 79 minutes of a game?
No, sprints per 90 minutes. How many sprints?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
When I said the Gary thing about making you run,
no, I got
making you run for an opportunity that's coming in. On average, Lukaku's making about 40 of those a game.
And does that make him the lowest of the low in the Premier League?
Yes.
It must do.
Well, of these people, I'm going to tell you, right at the top there, Firmino 79.9. That's nearly 80.
Right.
Costa 65.9. That's Sanchez 58.8. Aguero 54.9.
Okay.
Now, then you drop way back to 40.4 for Lukaku. Right. So what I'm saying is...
So he stands out, in fact, in his lack of movement and his lack of speed and his lack of running, really.
Indeed, that is absolutely right.
Is it a physical thing? Is it because he's more of a... I don't want to be unkind to him, but he's more of a lump, isn't he, really? I mean, Costa's a very, very well-built guy, very heavy.
Yes.
But Lukaku kind of lumbers more, doesn't he?
All I would say is, if it's because he's a bulk of a man and not as sharp and as fast, I mean, there are some very big men who are very fast. I mean, Usain Bolt's not exactly tiny, is he? You know what I mean?
Of course not, no.
But
he's not a lump either.
No,
he's an athlete.
Yeah, I agree.
Whereas Lukaku, to me, doesn't look like an athlete particularly.
Yes, I totally agree. But what I'm saying is, what I think Jamie Carragher's done is recognise something that really, Mr. Koeman must be aware of. Yeah. And if he's aware of it, then hasn't he got to redesign the way the team play to meet Lukaku's ability? And the limits of his ability and the restrictions on his ability. If he's only making 40 sprints a game, then the opportunities he's got to be presented with have got to be better than the ones he's had so far.
Yeah.
And if he's only running 5.5 miles a game compared to Firmino's 7.1 miles a game, then where he's running to and what he's doing with the yards that he's covering have got to be more productive. And they're quite telling statistics,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now that might sound like a moan, but actually it's not the official.
It's not the
1
official
minute
moan at all.
Because that's coming up now.
It certainly is.
Now you've got 1 minute. My 1 minute moan's going to be about you blowing your nose if you don't stop.
Look, I'm sorry, I've got a bit of hay fever.
You haven't got hay fever at this time of year. That's
just
absolutely
ignore
ridiculous.
That. The audience don't need to know this. No,
yeah, right.
No.
Well, we'll try not to let the sunlight into the magic, shall we? Well, I mean, am I led to assume then that you're not ready for your 1 minute moan?
Of course I'm ready.
Okay, well, shall we start the clock now?
Start it now.
Start the clock.
Right, Roy Hodgson, the former England manager, got off lightly. He got off lightly because he was no good at what he did. And when he went, we let him off in the sense that people who are employed as communicators didn't give him a hard time. So in response to that, the former England manager, Roy Hodgson, is now written a piece, and he's done it for a magazine called The Technician, which is a UEFA coaching magazine. So it hasn't gone into the mass, print world. He's gone to this little red magazine, coaching magazine, The Technician. And he says, the written press is very dangerous. They can take the words that you say and make it sound very, very different to how it actually was, but you can't beat them. Can I just say this, Mr. Hodgson? You were no good as England manager. Blaming the press is, in fact, a pathetic thing for you to do. You should never have been the England manager. You were a patrician. You were alongside a colleague of the
It's not the 1 minute character assassination. It's a 1 minute moan.
Excuse me, the then chairman, David Bernstein. We all know Harry Redknapp should have been the England manager. You got it by default. You were useless at Liverpool. You were useless at Liverpool because England, an England-Liverpool player told me that, right? So I'm saying to you, Mr. Hodgson, just go away and enjoy the £14 million you took off the FA and don't turn on the people who supported you enormously during your reign, and that is the communicators who represent the fans, the fans that you let down.
Unfortunately for you, you've now been disqualified from the competition, so I win by default. So I don't need to moan about anything because you've gone so far over. You've done 2 minutes. It's a 1 minute moan. That's the whole point of it.
You started the clock at the wrong time.
I started the clock at the wrong time, right. Yeah. Would you like to start the clock for me?
I will start.
There's no time.
There's no well, I'm sure there must be a minute.
No, there isn't.
There must be.
A minute is a long time in radio. You've wasted 2 minutes, and I now don't get to go.
Look, we've got to get this organised.
Yeah, well, you've got to stop when the clock stops, you plank.
The point is people want to hear this.
No, they don't.
They do.
I'm brewing on song as a man can be.
make of that?
Well, that's the Stones' new album, isn't
It
it?
is the Stones' new album. It's a new single, actually, Blue and Lonesome.
Yeah, well,
Quite
nobody
an
will
apt
buy it.
title, that,
Nobody
isn't
will buy it.
What do you mean nobody will buy it?
Nobody will buy it.
Of course
because
people will buy it.
Why
Millions of people will buy it.
Look, the Rolling Stones made some great records in the 60s, Painted Black, which I did a cover version of, and which was very
Of
successful.
course you'd have to mention that, wouldn't you?
Well, I just thought I would.
I mean, the Rolling Stones have got a long and very historic career behind them.
Of course they have.
You once covered one of their songs.
Yes.
But you managed to squeeze that into a
but
conversation
hang
about
on.
them.
So, Satisfaction, Jumpin' Jack Clash, Hey Hey You,
Jumpin'
Get Off
Jack
My...
Clash.
Flash, Hey Hey You, Get Off My Cloud, This Could Be the Last Time, Let's Spend the Night Together, all that kind of stuff.
You're now really reeling off that High Tides and Green Grass Greatest Hits playlist, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Because that's the album you've got.
It is an album I've got.
What about Sticky Fingers? What about Exile on Main Street?
Oh, I'm not worried about that. Well,
that was one of their best albums.
But what I'm saying is, they're now...
What about Black and Blue?
They now resort...
What about Some Girls?
They now resort to playing other people's songs.
No, they've decided to do a blues cover album because they
of other
feel
people's
that,
songs.
Yes, because they
well,
feel
is that what they are? They might as well go to, the local village hop now and play a few songs from, the local village hop and play a few songs
the village hop?
From, that the Hollies played in the 60s or something.
What's the village hop?
Let's go to the hop. Let's go to the
Is that what you do in Stockbroker Belt, Surrey
to...
on a Saturday night?
No, it's not, but it still happens,
hop.
doesn't it? Listen, I want to tell you about something.
Do you know that song, that you just heard, which is Blue and Lonesome?
Yes.
I keep saying that, despite the fact that you don't seem to notice the relevance of that particular
Blue
title.
and Lonesome, yes.
Yeah. Ride 'Em On Down is the original song from Eddie Taylor's 1955 album.
Eddie Taylor, yeah.
Who you haven't heard. And Kristen Stewart, and I'll tell you why it's going to sell a lot.
Eddie Taylor, he sounds like a darts player.
Or remember Duran Duran, maybe.
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart is also in the video, which is going to lead to an awful lot of sales.
Oh,
as well.
not Kristen Stewart.
Kristin.
Oh, Kristin, yeah. Is that a woman?
It is a woman.
Right,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
Do you know who she is?
Yeah.
What is she?
Singer.
She's an actress. Actually.
Actress, that's right, yeah.
She's in the Twilight movies.
That's right,
Robert
Twilight,
Pattinson.
yeah. She does a bit of singing as well.
No, she doesn't.
Oh, okay.
You don't know much about the Rolling Stones' new album, do you?
Well,
anyway, I think it will sell well.
Yeah, well, you say so. Now, listen.
Now, I'm going to tell you something for a change, right? Because I was robbed. Because I was robbed of doing my 1 minute moan.
Yes.
But which was going to be very, very good, which I would have won anyway.
My moan has received some plaudits.
No, it doesn't matter. You've been disqualified because you went on too long, right?
No.
But my moan was going to be about China.
Oh,
and
okay.
This replica Titanic that they've built. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I have. I think it's
Peter
brilliant.
Mandelson, right?
Yes.
Lord Mandelson was over there looking very, very out of place, like a fish out of water.
Yes.
Standing in this place in Sichuan province,
That's right, yeah.
where they are building a replica Titanic in what they're calling a 6D holiday experience, right?
6D?
So what they're going to be able to do...
What is 6D?
Well, I don't know what 6D is, but I presume it's double 3D, so it makes it even more exciting. What they're going to do, right, is replicate the Titanic hitting the iceberg so that you can go on there and
go through the drowning experience?
Go through the whole experience of
the
sinking in the Titanic.
No.
And when I watched the video,
that,
when I watched the video of them, which they played with Mandelson kind of standing there with a rather sort of sanguine look on his face, wondering, I don't know what the hell he was doing there, right? The actual promo video for the resort has got the Titanic springing up from the bottom of the sea, back up like in reverse, back up to being sitting on the top of the water.
Well, that'll be for the next crowd of people who want to go through the drowning.
No, but it's horrendous.
It is horrendous. I agree.
This is a sea grave for a start.
It is. Yeah.
You know, they've turned it into some kind of mawkish tourist attraction. I think it's disgraceful.
I think it's
awful. 1,500 people died. Right?
Yeah.
They're spending £115 million to recreate it.
So literally,
isn't that awful?
How big is the new Titanic?
It's the same size.
No, it can't.
It
be.
is.
They've built a ship the size of the Titanic.
Yes.
Which, by the way, these days is only about half the size of the biggest cruise liners, but nevertheless,
they have
a very big ship.
They've built an entire replica of the Titanic.
And then, so what happens? Are you just sort of wandering around with a pink gin and tonic in your hands, and all of a sudden you hear this crunching noise, and the next thing, the ship starts changing like degrees,
like the movie,
like the movies, and then
breaks in half.
I mean, do you know what?
It's shocking.
Do you know what I would do that for? I'd do that for one reason only.
What?
I would get somebody.
Well, you want to do it, do you?
Well, no, I wouldn't, because I think it's in very bad taste.
It is in very bad taste.
But if I did, I would get somebody to ring me, right, about half an hour into the experience. No, this is great. I just thought of this. Somebody said...
It's people like you that come up with these kind of ideas.
Yeah. If somebody rang me, suppose it was you, and you were talking about like some part of our business, like, the DVDs going out or something like that, and there's some sort of a problem, and... and if you said, look, we've got to sort something out, and I'd said, yes, you're absolutely right, but I'm not sure what we can do without it seeming like just moving the deck chairs around on the deck of the Titanic. That would be great, wouldn't it?
No.
Wouldn't that be great?
You
Wouldn't
see,
it be
you
great if
think-
I said, I'm just moving a few deck chairs around on the deck of the Titanic? That'd be an incredible thing to say.
You are typical of the kind of person that will go to this sort of attraction. I think it's dreadful.
I
and
think
I think
it's
it's
awful.
horrible, and so I'm very upset about it. Now, here's one from Daniel who says, so Porky thinks he's got hay fever in December.
Yeah.
Next he'll tell us he's got heat stroke. What a plank.
No, you can get hay fever in December. What happens is, no, seriously, I want our millions of listeners to be aware of this. If you lock yourself up in houses with no ventilation and the central heating turned up, the dust mites are
you
active.
don't know. You told us you don't do that.
I don't do that. I don't do that.
So why have you got hay fever then?
Well, because I think what's happened is I think that maybe I've been a little bit slow in getting
Maybe
the
it
old
was that hot beer kettle you were in this
ventilation.
morning.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't in.
Pick something up in there. How about this from Bob in Sheffield?
Yes.
What a punch magnet Porky must be.
Why?
His me attitude is so annoying.
What?
Why don't you shut
do you mean?
half your gob, Porky?
What do you mean?
Well, I think he's talking about your complete and utter obsession with yourself.
No, I don't have an obsession with myself. I use myself
We just
as
started talking about the Stones' new album.
Yes.
First album for 10 years,
Yes.
which is covers of other people's songs.
Yes.
And you mentioned the one thing that you did that had something to do with the Rolling Stones.
If there's something relevant and it happens to, you've got to remember I've had a very active and successful career in the communications business for a lot of years.
Really?
So obviously we've come across a lot of things.
How's that going
I want
now?
to tell you about one thing very quickly.
Okay, I've got some more written tweets to read out, actually.
Oh, please do.
How
I
about
like
this
the
one?
tweets, yeah.
From Chris in Chessington. Porky has a bigger connection with the Stones than you think. They're both on their 19th nervous breakdown.
Oh, that's very nice. I quite
Very
like
good.
that one, though. Thank
Yeah.
you very much indeed.
And also, finally, the Stones album got a 4-star review in The Guardian. Parry is an idiot, says somebody texting. He doesn't give a name.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but the Stones to me is their classic hits, not trying to replicate some guy from 1950. What was his name? Ed Smith.
Eh?
Ed Smith.
Eddie Taylor.
Eddie Taylor, yeah. Listen, tell you what I've come across. You've got a dog, a very nice dog.
I certainly have.
And we all know it's
and
called
you've now
Ziggy.
finally met Ziggy.
So it doesn't matter. Yeah, Ziggy's great. But the new designer bag is a bag to put one of these little chihuahuas in. You know, the chihuahuas are like...
Chihuahua.
Chihuahuas are only about 4 or 5 inches tall, aren't they?
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua. The chihuahuas.
Chihuahua.
4 or 5 inches tall, would you say?
I'd say 6.
All right, 6. And do you know what? Stella McCartney has designed a bag,
Right.
and it is a bag designed
Right.
to carry your chihuahua
I
around
hope she's
in.
calling it a doggy bag.
No, she's not. That would
she's
be
missed
too
a trick
obvious.
there.
No, it's too obvious. But I mean...
Mind you, you wouldn't want to do that in certain parts of the world, either.
No, this bag costs £1,245.
I'm not buying one.
Right.
I'll tell you what, if you need a bag for Ziggy, you'd have to get a much bigger bag than that.
You know, you've seen actresses over the years trying to hide a little dog in their handbag and all
Yeah.
that. Well, this is a designer-made handbag to put your dog in and carry it around with you. How
Yeah.
cruel is that?
Well, it's not cruel if you've got a small dog, because they're very small.
No.
You know, it's like carrying a rat around.
No,
I
but-
mean, I've seen bigger rats in New York than a Chihuahua.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is dogs should have their feet on the ground, they should scamper around, they should be able to sniff at the truffles and all that kind of stuff,
What?
which is what what dogs
Truffles?
do. Well, whatever they're sniffing
What
at,
truffles?
trees and all that kind of stuff. And to carry them around in a bag because it's a designer, apparel is outrageous, don't you think?
Do you mean it's an accessory?
Yeah, absolutely outrageous. The Kennel Club
To be
secretary...
honest, I'm more outraged by the fake Titanic than I am by a Chihuahua bag.
I am quite outraged by the fake Titanic, I have to say.
You said you
But,
wanted to go on it.
Well, I'd like to go and see what it's all about. The Kennel Club secretary, lovely lady called Caroline Kisco, she says carrying a dog in a certain situation can be sensible,
Yeah.
but it would be silly to do this all the time and actually make the dog's life home in a bag. You could put the dog's welfare in
Well,
jeopardy.
nobody's suggesting you're going to do it permanently.
They are.
No, they're not.
They are.
You have to still take the dog for a walk.
I don't think they think about that. They say...
You don't know what you're talking about.
Say, dogs that are confined in cramped conditions, it's comparable to battery hen farming and shouldn't be
Oh,
encouraged.
don't be ridiculous.
No,
Where's this one from people against the ethical treatment of animals? or
No,
something?
not at all. I think that,
Well, where's she from, this woman who's criticising it?
I've just told you, Kennel Club.
The Kennel
And
Club.
the Kennel Club are the most authoritative organisation on the welfare of dogs in
Yeah.
this country, even
Yeah.
above the RSPCA, which,
Well, that's
of
like
course,
saying, but
has
that's like
been
saying
criticised over the
that's
recent
like saying
years.
if you've got one of those baby carriers that people
Yeah.
put around them, like a
Yeah.
harness thing,
Yeah.
and if you carry the baby around in that for its entire life, it's not good for it. Of course, it's not good for it, but you only put it there when you're carrying it.
You carry babies in those things when babies can't even walk.
Yeah, I know, but
These dogs are very capable of walking. These dogs can walk
Really?
and run and bark and
Really?
yap and snap and, bite your finger and all this kind
Yeah.
of stuff. You shouldn't keep them in a little bag.
I
That's
see.
in my view. It's
Okay.
not even a little bag. It's like a holdall.
Yeah,
and it's
all
got
right.
a see-through...
I don't know why you care so
it's
much
got a
about it.
see-through wall so you can look in and see the dog. I mean, it's not good. What's
It's
your
the most
problem?
ridiculous thing you've ever moaned about.
No.
How about this from Pete? Disgraceful, selfish, Porky steals old MG's 1 minute moan. I think he should lose his bet safe hamper. I think that's a very good plan. This is Talk Sport.
No.
We've got some great tweets here. How about this one, actually, from Mr. Glancy. He says, "Hi, MG, just a quick question. Are Porky's dust mites related to dust moths? As I don't follow Porky's mum, but chance you may know."
Well, I mean, look, it's the same sort of thing. Believe me, that's how you have to be so very careful about locking yourself up in...
a locked room?
No, in apartments that are not ventilated with central heating in the winter, believe me.
Jane says this, outrageous gerrymandering of the 1 minute moan by Porky. Well, don't worry, it just makes it 6-1 to me.
No.
Here's one from, where are we? Look at the Light, who said, apparently Armani has designed a new Velcro jacket where one can carry one's planky wah-wah.
What is a planky wah-wah?
Well, it's your pronunciation, presumably, of plank, as your pronunciation of chihuahua.
No. Chihuahua is a little dog. Thank you very much indeed for that
Chihuahua.
one.
Now, here's one from BBYFC Development. Guys, can you give a shout-out to Broxburn Borough Youth Under-18s who are playing Chester City Under-18s in the Youth FA Cup? That's Wednesday, 7:30 kickoff.
I can, but I want Chester to win.
Yeah,
why?
why?
Well, I'll give you a shout, sorry.
Why?
Because they're my hometown.
Yeah, but you don't really go to Chester. You don't really support Chester.
They're playing Guiseley today, away from home in the National League.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Are they not in the FA Cup then anymore?
No, they're not. No,
they got knocked out.
Yes, they did. Yes, yeah.
Tommy says Porky should do a quiz on the Rolling Stones. I think he already did.
I did.
Suggest you'd get 1 out of 10.
Oh no, I got a lot more than that.
And Carl says this: Porky, you can't go around taking pictures of randoms in a pub. You'd end up getting filled in.
Sorry, I didn't take any pictures of randoms in a pub.
The one you took this morning.
That was research.
In the beer cellar.
That was research.
Yeah, but it's a picture of people in a pub.
Doesn't matter. You
can't just put pictures out of people in pubs.
Yes, you can. Why can't you?
Because they may object to you publishing pictures of them. Have you not heard of the rules of privacy?
Well, I'm sorry, but nobody objected when I put that picture out. A lot of people will be happy to have been associated with me.
You think?
Listen, I'll tell you what I want to talk to you about. Oh, and by the way...
Oh, hang on, here's a good one here. Look, Gordon says, well, as we're watching this game, City against Chelsea, how on earth can City have empty seats in a game like this?
I didn't know they did have.
Well, if you're looking at it, there are just little patches of empty seats.
Yeah, there are, actually.
Is it possible that maybe people haven't made it? There's a transport problem. Is it possible that people are stuck in hospitality? I don't know.
It's an early kick-off, so there could be any number of reasons.
But it is surprising when you consider that this will be one of the most watched games around the world.
It will.
This whole weekend.
It will be. In South Africa, in the west coast of America, in Australia, they will be watching it with an avidity that will not stretch to other games. You're
avidity?
Right. Avidity, yeah.
Avidity's not a word.
With an avidity. That is a word.
No, it's not a word. You can't keep making up words.
I'll tell you what I want to say to you.
Yeah, go on, hurry up.
That ludicrous story about, vegans and whinging.
Oh, yeah,
There's a bit of animal fat,
£5
note. Well, I didn't know they ate them. What do they do? They suck them or something.
Well, I don't know.
What do they do? How ludicrous is it?
Well, it is ludicrous, and I don't see why people would object, because the thing is, people don't know precisely what an awful lot of tallow is used for.
Exactly.
Because you remember during the mad cow disease scare?
Yes.
It was one of those stories that I remember doing when we were at the Express.
That's right, juices from a cow's brain and all that. Yeah.
Well, it's mostly like the spinal cord and all sorts of stuff like that, and gelatin. But I mean, the list of products that have some tallow in them, I think it may be changed now. But in those days, there was
everything, wasn't it?
One of the things was a guy called Paul Crosby, who you remember,
I remember,
who was tasked with putting this story together.
Consumer editor.
He was consumer editor. Now PR. And he was tasked with putting this whole thing together.
Yes.
And it was all the new guys from the Daily Mail who had come in, and so they were quite sort of, very, very, attention to detail types.
That's right, yeah.
So they had to do, can you imagine the picture, right? It was a centre spread of all of these different products, ranging from jelly to, jam.
Them,
So they're all things that you shouldn't be eating, basically, because they...
And
he got it completely wrong.
He got it completely wrong. Well, that's not the first time Paul would have got it completely wrong.
But he put all these, very well-known brands in this picture. And the picture was, made a big centre spread. All the things were tagged up. It was all done very well. And the number of letters of complaint that came in from all these companies that said, sorry, we don't use tallow. You're absolutely incorrect. And in fact, not only will you have to make a retraction, you'll have to pay us a load of money.
That's right.
Because you've now damaged our reputation.
I was going to say, it'd be more than letters of complaint.
Yeah,
well, that's
Paul
for you. I suppose you would have chosen an OXO cube and all sorts of things like that.
Well, the obvious things.
Nice
but
pictures.
This was things which you wouldn't have expected. Some of which were right, but an awful lot of which were not.
He used to be my deputy, Paul. He didn't get much right.
No, I can imagine between you must have got everything wrong. This is Talk Sport. We are the two mics on the warm-up, of course. We'll be back, by the way, on Monday in the H&J slot from 1 p.m. until 4 p.m.
Yeah.
We should also tell people that if they haven't done it yet, because lots of people have, got their Christmas presents organised. They want to go to the twomics.co.uk and get themselves a DVD.
That's right.
For their loved ones.
Indeed.
Where you can also go to Vimeo, by the way, and download it.
No, you can download it.
You can download it as well,
because you couldn't get the technology right on that one, could you? For quite a while.
Well, it wasn't actually my problem, but I was able to fix it. Thank you very much. And also, for those of you who didn't get the podcast from yesterday's show, we are in the process of trying to fix that here at TalkSport.
Okay,
the boffins are on it.
What about a podcast from today's show?
The podcast from today's show will be out in a few hours' time.
Will it? And will it be a complete podcast, or will it be a 37, 57-minute one again?
Well, they tend to be shorter on this particular show.
I know, but we don't want to stop halfway through, that's all.
Well, we don't want that to happen, but sometimes technical issues do come up. I mean, we produce an awful lot of podcasts. We've got about 500,000 downloads a month going on. Occasionally something's going to go wrong. We can apologise for it, but I was very grateful to see last night that what you didn't do was start berating me for it.
No, I didn't.
Because you finally realised that actually that doesn't get you anywhere.
Well, no, it's not that it doesn't get me anywhere. It's that you had well left the studio and had an horrendous journey home due to the fact that a bus fell into a sinkhole.
Well, do you know what? I completely forgot that I'd seen 3 days earlier there was a massive water main break down in Lewisham, and so much so that there was a massive sinkhole and a bus had fallen into this big hole. And of course, when I was trying to get out of London yesterday, I was thinking, what is going on?
Exactly.
And the whole of South East London was gridlocked. I'm hoping it won't be gridlocked today, because I've got to get my son down to Tunbridge Wells for a bit of ice skating action.
Oh, excellent! That sounds brilliant. Now I've got some great news for the world of pop fans.
Oh yeah,
Elton John is retiring. Is that a bit harsh?
That is very harsh. I like Elton John.
Well,
I've always liked Elton John.
Look, he's been such a stalwart of the pop music scene for
probably
half a century.
He's also a fantastic character.
He's had a 50-year songwriting partnership with Bernie Taupin. He's produced some great classic records, but it says, after selling 260 million records, winning 5 Grammys, an Oscar, 11 Ivor Novellos, and he's played in more than 3,000 gigs, i.e. concerts.
Right, you've seen him, haven't you? Did you not see him in the Beach Boys?
Yeah, no, I did at Wembley Stadium.
He's one guy that I would love to have seen that I never did see.
But that was probably 40 years ago. We're teenagers. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah. Was that during his kind of, crazy outfits time? When he wore the big, the glasses with a windscreen.
It was all of that. With he had one of those stretch suits on and all that. But the thing he used to do in those days was pick up his piano stool and throw it into the crowd.
Well, that was also during the time when he was doing about 28,000 grams of cocaine a night, wasn't he?
I'm sure.
Now, let's go to Dave Rowe. He's up at the Etihad for us. It's quite a lively old game, Dave.
Indeed.
Very much so. Yes, 20 minutes played here, and it's still goalless. Manchester City 0, Chelsea 0. Chelsea have been largely the better team in the early stages. City have been giving the ball away far too much early on. First chance for City now as Aguero fires, and it's tipped over the crossbar by Courtois for a corner. But Chelsea with the best effort in the early stages. Hazard shooting just wide after. Good play by Pedro, pouncing on a loose ball. It looked like he was trying to pass to Diego Costa. He left it for Hazard, who killed a shot just wide. Earlier on, the power of Costa had been too much for John Stones down by the byline. He robbed him, pulled it back for Hazard, but he couldn't quite find Pedro with the attempted ball across the area. There had been also a penalty appeal for City in the early stages. David Silva burrowing into the penalty area, trying to get the better of Cahill. The ball did flick off the back of Cahill's arm as he tried to pull it across. Didn't know too much about it though, and quite rightly the referee not awarding a spot kick. One yellow card so far as well. Otamendi clattering Costa. But as we approach 21 minutes, it's still Man City 0, Chelsea 0.
Thanks very much indeed. A very, very lively game, as we say. So far, not many goals, though, Porky. You said there was going to be a lot of goals in this game.
Well, they could come in a rush during the middle of the second half,
you could
in my view.
Yes. Here's one from Jack. He said, is Porky talking about the Elton John and Beach Boys concert with segregation to prevent the rival fans brawling? That can't be true, can it?
No, I never saw that.
Really?
You know, we reviewed the 2 Beach Boy books last week, because they've come out, Mike Love and Brian Wilson.
Mike Love and Brian Wilson,
Well, I'm sure I've told you this before, but Mike Love was on stage in a coat that actually had live light bulbs fitted into it.
Yes,
he had a
I think
great
I've seen that.
White overcoat.
I think I've seen that. Yeah,
and I'm not talking about the new modern small light bulbs. I'm talking about big, the size of ice cream.
Yeah, the original light bulbs.
The size of an ice cream 99.
As they were once known, they were just known as light bulbs. It was the only kind you could get.
That's right.
You couldn't get the tiny ones. You couldn't get the long strip ones. All you could get was those. Right?
Screwed into his coat. Now, I hope people don't think I've been unkind about Elton John, but I just can't. I just don't like most of his music because it's all piano-based. Yeah, but it's all...
What do you mean you don't like piano-based music?
Well, I like...
What are you talking about?
I like Billy Joel.
Billy Joel plays the piano.
Yeah, and
he has
an
album called Piano Man.
I think... I tell you what I think it is. I think Elton John does too many ballads and not enough sort of great songs.
Well, unlike Billy Joel.
Well, Billy Joel does great songs,
Billy Joel does ballads.
He doesn't do a lot of ballads.
Of course he does.
He does a lot of powerful songs.
Rubbish. Well, so does Elton John.
There are 2 Elton John songs I like.
Okay.
Down the Yellow Brick Road, I like that. I like Down the Yellow Brick Road.
Down the Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah, you know. That was called. Oh, it was called, wasn't it?
No,
it was.
It wasn't Down the Yellow Brick Road.
When are we gonna go back? When are we gonna go down? You know, that was Yellow Brick Road.
That's a different song altogether.
It's not. It's Yellow Brick Road. And the other one.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Goodbye Yellow Brick Road.
Is the name of the song.
That was the one. And the other one.
I have the double album.
You have the double album, okay.
Do you have the double album?
No, because I don't like Elton John. Why would I go and buy his albums?
Have you got his greatest hits?
No. I'd never have it in the house.
I know I'm getting you for Christmas now. I'll get you an Elton John greatest hits double album.
And the other one is...
Crocodile Rock.
Crocodile Rock. Now, I quite like that.
Well, did you know the words to that?
Yeah. I remember when Rock was young.
Yeah, not bad.
Me and Susie had so much fun.
Yes.
Skimming stones and...
No, it's something else in Skimming Stones.
Something else in Skimming Stones.
Yeah. All right.
I mean,
well, those, again, are from your youth. You are locked... You know what you're like?
No.
Do you know that locked-in syndrome?
Well, he hasn't written a decent song for 40 years.
Do you know that locked-in syndrome that people suffer from?
Yeah.
Which is obviously a very serious condition.
Yeah.
But you kind of have it, but you're not locked in to yourself. You're locked into the 70s.
It says here...
You only remember things from the 70s.
Hang on.
What is that about?
Hang on.
What is it about?
Look, what do you... Are you mad? I remember lots of things.
You don't remember Elton
10
John's,
years ago.
What about Candle in the Wind?
Well, that song now takes on completely different composure.
Well, rather
because it was the finale of the life of Diana, Princess of Wales.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
That's not really a song anymore. That's a hymn.
Well,
now,
okay, but I mean, you're saying you don't like it?
No, I didn't like it.
Really?
No, the one it was written originally about Marilyn Monroe, Norma Jean.
Yeah.
You know, goodbye Norma Jean.
Yeah, which was her real name.
Yes.
Yeah.
It says here he's decided to retire. He's brought the date forward after disappointing recent chart performances.
Right. Well, so him and Nico Rosberg in the same week.
Well, what it means that I think the public have finally decided, look, Elton's been great in the past, but, you know, we've got other things to listen to these days.
Do you know what? Unless you have a real thirst to continue to create music.
Yes.
On DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM, the warm-up with the two mics on Talk Sport.